Successful medtech startups. What do they say they wish they knew about developing medical device software before they started?
With medical devices, everyone can see the hardware, but the real intelligence lies within and is invisible. Embedded software is not just code, it's the invisible co-pilot that directly controls the device and therefore the patient's safety and outcomes. This sets a stage for why it's so different from developing other types of software. The first thing to consider is the regulatory framework that you must operate under. Regulations aren't just for the hardware, and this is a critical mindset shift for software engineers who aren't used to working on medical devices. The software itself must comply with a stringent set of regulations and standards from day one. IEC 62304, the international standard specifically for medical device software and lifecycle processes, is the one that we follow in the UK and Europe. If you want to sell internationally, there are some others that you may need to consider too. The first thing to do here is to establish your software safety classification. This is a key part of IEC 62304 and has a big impact on subsequent activities. It can be Class A, B, or C. Class A, essentially if the software fails, no one gets hurt. Class B, if the software fails, it could result in a non-serious injury. And Class C, if the software fails, it could result in death or serious injury. Now, important nuances to remember, it's a risk-based approach. The classification isn't just about what the software does, but also about the potential for harm if it fails. The process involves identifying all possible failure modes and their potential impact. External risk controls matter. The standard takes into account risk control measures that are external to the software, for example, a hardware safety mechanism or an alarm system, or the actions of the medical professional. If these measures can mitigate the risk of a software failure, the software might be assigned a lower safety class. It's not the same as the device classification. It's crucial to distinguish between software safety classification and the overall medical device classification. While they're related, they are separate concepts and determined by different criteria. The safety classification is the foundation for the rest of your development process. A higher classification, for example Class C, requires much more rigorous documentation, testing, and risk management activities throughout the entire software lifecycle process. This is why it's a critical point to mention to a startup. Getting this wrong from the beginning can lead to a significant amount of rework and a delayed time to market. The final thing to mention on the regulatory side is that your software development process must be fully integrated into a quality management system such as ISO 13485. It provides a framework for your company to manage and control all the activities that can affect the quality of its products, from initial design all the way through to post-market surveillance. The second thing to consider are the unique challenges associated with embedded software development. First of all, the hardware-software dance. This can be a major pain point. It's like the chicken and egg problem. And whilst I urge you to do all you can to simulate the hardware to accelerate software development, you can't test the software fully without the hardware, and you can't validate the hardware fully without the software. And this highlights the importance of concurrent iterative development and strong communication between hardware and software development. Resource constraints are a key consideration too. Embedded systems have limited memory, processing power, battery life, and pretty much anything else you care to think about. This means that every line of code matters. It's not like a web app with infinite cloud resources. You have to be efficient and meticulous with every line of code, particularly if there are hard real-time requirements. Getting software engineers with experience is key here. Risk and failure modes must be considered, and this goes well beyond just software bugs. For instance, what happens when the power cuts out? What happens if a sensor fails? The software must be designed to fail gracefully and safely. And this is where ISO 14971, risk management, is crucial. Every possible failure mode must be identified and mitigated in the design. And the third thing is a summary. Before you write a single line of production code, define your intended purpose, understand your safety classification, and build to a robust documented process. It's not about slowing down innovation, it's about building a foundation of quality and safety that ensures your device gets to market and, importantly, keeps patients safe. Do it from the beginning and don't try to bolt it on at the end. When you're starting out, there's going to be a lot of detail you don't know. You may not even know you need to know. I encourage you to seek help from specialists who understand these complexities, who can help you to avoid costly and dangerous mistakes and get your product to market.